Hi everyone, it's Kyceti here, and today we're actually doing something a little bit different. I thought it would be interesting to do a tier list of all of the featural additions to Beta 1.2 in Minecraft. And this is to celebrate, I guess, the first progression of versions that I've had in my Forever World series, Keeping It Forever. Link in the description if you don't know about that, but basically I'm going through all of the Minecraft versions that I played when I was younger, and updating the world as I go along. But while I did explore a lot of the new features that came out in Beta 1.2, I thought it'd actually be good to go through all of the different features and what I think about them in general. Now, I by no means am a Minecraft pro. I don't know everything there is to know about the game. I'm not a master in any aspect, like I'm not particularly good at redstone or anything like that. But I am a Minecraft veteran, I guess, if veteran means having played it for at least 10 years. I am, I guess, appropriately qualified for that. So I do remember when these came out. This was actually, this was the version I started playing on, so I didn't experience them getting added to the game. You'll have to wait for the next tier list for that, I guess. But here, yeah, it'll be mostly based on, I guess, what I think the vibes are, of what did these things add to Minecraft that I think were game-changing, in a good way or a bad way. I guess the most distinct things that were added to this version and whether you could actually tell in the version whether they changed or not. So the tier list here, we'll get to this one at the end, but game changing again, things that are massive changes to the game. Actually, I will say mostly good things. Probably we don't want bad things happening in this tier. So anything that significantly changed the way you play the game will go up here. Anything that was good, and I guess either met the tone or didn't meet the tone of the game but changed the game in some way. I think solid additions would go here, but maybe not up in game changing. Missed opportunities are probably features that I think are good in concept but were executed a little bit strange. So these three tiers are sort of things that I think, yes, they should be in the game. They're good. It's just for these, maybe they were implemented a little bit more poorly than I guess would hope. And these things may change in the future with future versions. Down here we've got the bottom three tiers, so okay, I guess, is a feature that they've added, and I think it's been implemented okay, but I kind of question why it was added to the game. The Y tier are things that I guess were implemented into the game, but I don't understand why they were implemented into the game, and also why were they implemented that way. So we're going doubly bad here. And then the bottom one is literally a bug. So literally a bug are things that I think actively made the game worse. They could actually be bugs, or they could even be features of that version that I think actively made the version worse. I think while we're in Beta 1.2, it's going to be pretty okay. But yeah, anyway, let's get started. So this one, and sorry you can't really read it that well because I did a shoddy job in paint. It's Birches in Forests. I think that this is a fantastic addition to the game. I wouldn't say it's game-changing to be particular, but adding variety to the forest biome was really good. I think it's really nice to walk around and see, not just oak trees. Having a few birch trees is fantastic, really good addition to the game. I wouldn't say it's game-changing though, because the forest for the most part looks exactly the same than if you go back one version. I think it just makes it look a little bit prettier, so it's one of those atmospheric effects. Similar thing here, I believe that this is the birch leaves, not the spruce leaves, yeah, birch leaves. In terms of additions, I actually think that this is definitely a solid addition to the game. Birch leaves and birch wood as well, which we have here. I'm actually going to put birch wood in solid addition as well. Birch trees are amazing, especially in the later versions when they get stripped, but even like this, and getting birch wood was a really good color palette for actually building lighter themed structures, because I guess most of the homes before birchwood, you'd either have to use something like wool or bricks or something to get a different palette that wasn't just wood and cobblestone. And birch trees with regular oak wood, which was the only type of wood at this time, is actually a pretty nice palette. So I highly recommend doing it, even if you don't I guess the black spots or something. It's still really good, and definitely in modern Minecraft, stripping the birch wood as well makes it look even better. Black sheep naturally occurring in the world. I think that this is a solid addition. I think variety of sheeps in general is a really solid addition, so let's actually put all of them here. I think the fact that all the sheep aren't white anymore is really good. I will say though, I'm kind of teetering on missed opportunity just because I feel like they could have done something more with the wool in this case. Like having different variants of sheep. They could have maybe done it a little bit better than just, I guess, changing the type of wool that you got from the sheep. Like maybe they had like different climates, or they only showed up in certain biomes, and to my knowledge in beta 1.2 that isn't the case. So maybe I'll actually put it here. I know that as of recording they're actually announcing new variants of the passive mobs, which do that. Like there's a hot and a cold variant of mobs. So they finally got to what I'm thinking is the missed opportunity, but only I guess 11 or 12 years late. So anyway. Now we're going to all of the wools. So I think the wools are definitely a game-changing feature, and I'm actually going to do that for some of the wools, and then some of them will be solid additions, I'd say. And this is mainly just because, actually no, I think all of them deserve to be there, except for the brown wool. But I'm going to put all of these up here. Like, I guess what I'm thinking about is, these wools added so much like ability to make things in Minecraft, particularly pixel art, of course. Even though the palette's kind of like limited, there were so many colors in Minecraft that you just couldn't get before. In particular, like blues, oranges, and stuff like that. Maybe oranges a little bit with dirt, but like purples and stuff like that just makes it really hard. Are there any more wools? We already had the white wool, which was already in the game, so I'll just say that's a solid addition. One thing that I think was a missed opportunity though was the brown wool. I honestly don't know why they didn't add the brown wool in this version, because as we can see here, they actually added the dye for the brown wool. So I have no idea why they didn't add that. It's actually made building in Keeping It Forever, my forever world, difficult because I needed the brown color for my rainbow, and I wasn't able to do that. So I definitely say a missed opportunity here. Now bone meal. Bone meal is a game-changing addition to the game. Definitely love bone meal. It actually makes, I guess, going out at night and hunting mobs actually useful, because you can, kill skeletons and get the bones as well. So I'll say that the bone itself is a solid addition, but the bone meal itself both allows you to, I guess, bleach sheep to get white wool if you need white, because white is always a solid like palette when you're building, and also it lets you build crops way faster. So definitely really useful. Brick's tooltip, I would say, is, I guess, an okay feature, just because like it's good to fix these things. Actually no, I'll put it in solid addition. It is a good addition to make sure that your blocks have solid tooltips. Same thing with the jack-o'-lantern. I believe it was pumpkin last time. Cake, I would say cake is not game-changing, but I'm kind of tossing and turning whether it's either a solid addition or a missed opportunity. I think I'll be a little bit optimistic and put it in solid addition, just because I think it's really nice to have placeable food and eating it later. I think actually this set a precedent that I think wasn't actually followed up on when it comes to other foods. So I would say cakes are a solid addition to the game, because it's always nice to make a table and put a cake on it. But unfortunately you can't do that with most other foods. So this is definitely a solid addition to the game, but not game changing. The coal here. Now coal was already in Minecraft, but what this version added was something called charcoal. And charcoal, of course, if you know how to play Minecraft, it's when you put a wood log into a furnace and then cook it, and it turns into charcoal. And charcoal, for all intents and purposes, is the same as coal, it just has a different name. So I'm actually going to put this in game changing, because it completely changes the way you play the game, especially in the early phases, mainly because you don't actually have to go mining on the first day to get light. If you can get just wood and then 8 stone, you can make a furnace and stay above the surface for at least a couple days, because you will have more than enough wood to actually make charcoal, and then you can use that charcoal to make more charcoal. And because of that, you don't really need to go diving nearly as deeply. Actually, I didn't go mining for at least, I think, 2 episodes or something in my Keeping It Forever world. So it really makes like the gameplay very different. So definitely like this is like an S tier game change in beta 1.2. Chunk reload loop. So this was a bug fix that, to my knowledge, was about fixing like this really annoying bug in either a single player or multiplayer, where you would just like constantly like get stuck when you were like loading a chunk, and they fixed that. So solid addition. I think that's a good idea, but I honestly don't think I actually I never actually experienced that, so I don't really know what's happening. I think I'll put it into okay, I guess, just because I never experienced that. Cocoa beans, a definition of missed opportunity. It's in the game files. You can get it using inventory editors, but you can't get it in-game. So definitely a missed opportunity there. Would have been a lot of fun to have cocoa beans earlier. Color and audio fixes. Again, this is like something that I think was probably a good thing, but I just never experienced color and audio fix issues just because I hadn't played the game beforehand. I'll put it in okay, I guess. And this is not a negative tier, I will say. This is just sort of like a neutral tier. It's like, okay, it's good that you did that. Craftable dandelion and roses. So these will probably need some context, and I'll start with the dyes. So I'm actually going to put all of the dyes, except for the special dyes, into game changing, just because these significantly change the game. Actually, maybe I would put these into missed opportunity. So all of these like synthetic dyes, the dyes that you get by like making things. Are there any other dyes here? Yes, the cyan dye. So these are the synthetic dyes that you make by just crafting the two together. I think that this was a missed opportunity, and that's because I actually think the other dyes that you get are fantastic and game-changing. So these dyes are the dyes, to my knowledge, that you get from actually like harvesting something. So for example, this is cactus green. You get it by, I think it's cooking a cactus. And these two, you get them by picking up roses and cooking them. And this you get from killing squids. And this is lapis lazuli, which is an ore. I think that this is a really fantastic way to extract dyes because it actually is kind of educational. And you know, if Minecraft was originally for kids, I don't know if it was for kids, but definitely played by a lot of kids. This actually gives you like maybe like a quasi-historical way of understanding how dyes work. Because, you know, until you're able to get lapis lazuli, and in episode 3 of Keeping It Forever, it took me ages to find lapis lazuli. It was so difficult to find, and this actually helped me realize, okay, maybe is this why it's so hard to have blue stuff in the past? Like, why is everyone wearing brown tunics and stuff in medieval pictures and stuff like that? And this actually really helped me, because without lapis lazuli, I wasn't able to get blue wool or purple wool or anything like using the blue hue. So this is a really good way of implementing the dyes. Whereas I think here, there's a bit of a missed opportunity. Like, I understand, and this is for a different reason though. This isn't a missed opportunity because you can synthesize these into these colors. I think it's a missed opportunity because it could have been done maybe a little bit better than just crafting the dyes together. I feel like there could have been some sort of like mixing pot or something like that, or even just like another crafting bench where you mix them together or something. I think that that would have been something that would have been pretty good, in the same way that I think like there could have been more variety here. Again, I'm not saying this is a bad feature. It's good that they added this to the game. It's just that I think that maybe it could have been done a little bit better. That's just my opinion. And by extension, these two are basically saying you are now able to craft flowers into the red and yellow dye, into rose red and dandelion yellow. So I'm going to say that this is a solid addition to the game. Not really a missed opportunity there, to be honest. Dispensers added to the game, I think, is a game-changing addition. Just because... Actually, no. Is it a game-changing addition? I think dispensers definitely made things cool, because you could start... Actually, yeah. I will say it's a game-changing addition because multiplayer was very different. Everyone really wanted to make a redstone arrow turret. And this completely changed the way that you did base defense. Like in the past, you probably used like lava boats and stuff like that. Whereas now you can use arrows. And like arrows were not very effective, to be honest, for base defense, but they were a lot of fun to use. So of course, making dispensers and building them, a lot of fun, especially in multiplayer. In single player, I don't think I've actually used a dispenser yet for my Forever World, but I do remember having them in the past where I would like click a button and it would throw me my diamond sword or something like that. Definitely a game-changing experience. Okay, durability doubled. So this is a game-changing feature as well. So what happened was, in this version, they doubled the durability of all tools except for gold tools. And I think that this was a really good addition because your your tools breaking all the time is not a lot of fun at all. And especially with the addition of lapis lazuli, which had the rarity similar to diamonds, you definitely wanted to be able to mine a lot more. So adding durability increases to wood, stone, and iron to double, and for diamond I think was an increase of only 50%, but still, definitely a welcome addition and game changing. Actually, no, I'll say it's solid because it's not a game changing addition, because even if they would break in the past, you would just make new pickaxes, which was annoying, I guess. So definitely a solid addition, I'd say. But conversely, I would say gold tools I'm going to put in our first Y category. So what they did with gold tools was that they didn't increase the durability of it. So it was pre 1.2 durability, but instead what they did was they increased the mining speed to faster than diamond. And I think it's still like this, actually. And I guess I can ask just why? Like, okay, I get it. You want gold to be an interesting side grade to diamond so you can mine faster and stuff, but the durability not even doubling is quite insane to me, because the durability, I think, for these things is something like 30 blocks. And that is completely useless. Like, there is I do not see a feasible purpose for it other than making a meme weapon or something like that. And, you know, they added the changes to that later, very far later into the game with piglins and stuff, but this is just really not worth it. I think if they doubled the durability of this, or even like tripled it or something, made it comparable to wood or something, then I'd probably put it in like missed opportunity or something, because the faster mining speed is interesting, but the durability for this definitely just makes it, in my opinion, a bad feature. Dyeable wool, I'm going to put dyeable wool in game changing, so this just meant that you could get wool and then you could dye it later to any color that you wanted. To my knowledge, I don't think you could dye pre-dyed wool, which actually made this kind of difficult. So if you got like dark grey wool, you couldn't dye it, to my knowledge. I think you can in modern versions, but in Weta 1.2 I've had an issue with that, where I had to run around with bone meal to dye the sheep white. So I'm going to put that in game changing, just because it meant that you could like get all of these different colors. And also by context, I'm also going to put dyeable sheep, definitely a game changing feature, just because, like, firstly, that there's like an interesting tech there where you can dye your sheep and then attack the sheep to get more than one wool out of the dye. And I actually used that extensively because I needed about 650 wool for a structure that I was making and keeping it forever. It was like a rainbow serpent. And because of that, I really was able to like use the economy to maximize the amount of dye I was getting. And so because of that, I didn't need 650 dyes. I only needed about maybe 400, or maybe 300 if I was lucky. So that actually made things a lot faster. And of course, it's very iconic to, you know, have a colorful sheep near your base. Unfortunately, the sheep do despawn, so occurrence of this would probably be fairly limited in this version. But I do remember colored sheep randomly showing up on the multiplayer server, so definitely loved that. Furnace having a top texture, solid addition. The top texture, I've looked at photos of it in the past, hideous. I am glad that they added a proper top texture to the furnace, so solid addition. Lag spikes, our first literally a bug. And this, there's a bit of a lore around this, because I remember these lag spikes when I first started playing. I'm going to say, what is it? We're going to put, this has got to do with the fast render mod, which was added to the base game. And then there's another fix here, I believe. No, not yet. Okay, anyway, what happened was, I believe Jeb added this fast render mod to the game to test whether it would improve performance on people's computers, and it was a welcome addition because this was like a well-respected modder in the community. But what Minecraft actually did, what Jeb did, I think, I don't know if it was Jeb, but it was the Mojang developers, they added in testing stuff to test whether it was working, and they left that test in the beta versions, and that actually led to a bunch of lag spikes. So yeah, literally a bug. They added this to improve FPS, and then it decreased FPS, so our first literally a bug. Lapis ore, I'm going to say lapis ore. Okay, this is difficult because I would say lapis lazuli as a dye is game changing, but the ore itself, I would say, is probably just a solid addition. Just because, like, adding a new ore is nice, but the only reason you would use this is if you were getting the dyes. I think that the ore itself is not game changing. It's the fact that you can actually get these dyes it's cool, like historical parallels, and also dye the wool. So I'm gonna put these here just because it's a welcome addition to have more ores in the game, especially when they're only about what 4 or 5 at the time. Some of these are not going to be particularly interesting, but I'm just going to put some solid fixes. So I'm going to put multiplayer paintings, multiplayer lighting bug, and the newer world game crash here. Yeah, I'm going to put them all into solid edition, just because these are, I guess, of course, welcome adds to fix things. I remember you couldn't have multiplayer paintings in in the past, and then actually no, I don't fully remember it, but I've seen that there was a multiplayer bug that it had been fixed, and because of that, I remember when playing Minecraft, I was able to have like paintings and stuff in my house. So definitely a welcome fix. The lighting bug as well, I think that happened when you generated worlds, and the newer world game crash. This never actually affected me in beta 1.2, but I've actually experienced this where I tried to load a beta 1.9 world or something, like post world generation into the game, and then it would just crash the entire game when I was trying to do that. But in this version, it didn't. It just basically said, this is a newer version and you can't run it. So definitely a welcome addition. More bugs, so north rails and redstone power. So north rails, this one's actually kind of annoying, which is that the rails always sort of have like a default direction, which is like, I don't understand why it's like that. They should add directionality to it, so I hope they fix that soon. And then redstone power, when you add a new source of power, it doesn't act the way you expect, and then it like causes like redstone machines to break and stuff like that. So super annoying. So hope these get fixed soon. Note blocks. Note blocks are the first game-changing feature. Actually, I might just quickly see if I can like readjust this. Yeah, okay. I think that's good. Yeah, so now we get a full view of the actual tier list. Note blocks. So note blocks are definitely a game-changing feature. Again, it's like wool, which is that if you don't do like creative building or like the artistic stuff in Minecraft, you're probably not going to be using these, but I definitely think it is game-changing because it brings in a whole new avenue of players who are interested in this stuff. So wool, great for pixel art and stuff like that. Note blocks, also great for redstone engineers in particular, to make music and stuff, and this was a really fun thing to do. And the best part is that it's really accessible because it's only got a few octaves, and I studied music a little bit when I was younger, so I was able to make cute little songs using redstone and stuff, and in a later version I got redstone repeaters as well. But even things as simple as like making like a ding as you like enter your castle with like with a pressure plate or something, incredible new feature, definitely game changing, made the game like way more, I guess, homely and artistic. I really liked that. Renaming reeds to sugarcane. I wouldn't say it's a solid addition. It's a good addition. It's a good thing, I guess. I don't really care that much, but it's pretty cool that they changed it to sugarcane. By extension, sugar, I would say, is a missed opportunity. Of course, the cake is a solid addition, but the sugar itself, I'm pretty sure, was only used for cake. I feel like they could have added a few more features around the sugar itself, rather than just adding it in as like a one-purpose object. I don't know, like, you could probably like eat sugar to get health or something, but then get poisoned. I don't know. I don't think they really had like status effects and stuff back then, so I do understand, but I still think it's a missed opportunity. They should probably think a little bit, maybe when I'll retract my words. They definitely do think when they make versions, but back in this day, they were making items very quickly, in particular for certain things. So this cake, I think, was actually added as a response to as a response to like winning a award or something. So they added sugar to make that cake. So yeah, there it is. Sandstone, I would say sandstone is solid addition. Great to have a solid block in the desert if you want to make like desert stuff that doesn't look out of place. So definitely a great addition. I wouldn't say it's game changing though, just because it was like the only block that you could use. So yeah, kind of limited in that regard. Sheep wool loss in SMP, solid addition. It's good to know that a sheep that you're attacking actually has wool. It's really annoying when like someone else breaks it, but then it doesn't look like it's lost its sheep. It's wool. the SMP disconnect ghost. I don't think I ever experienced this, but I'll put it in okay, I guess. Same thing with falling sand in SMP, and this is because I started on this version. Oh, we have a yellow wool down here, which I'll just add. Sorry about that yellow wool. Renamed to crafting table. This is an okay, I guess feature because its previous name was workbench, and I still call it a workbench, so don't understand why they needed to do that, but that's fine. Screenshots with F2 only. I think this is a solid addition, just because it's great to be able to take screenshots whenever you want, whereas previously you had to hit 2 buttons at once. So definitely making it easier is a solid addition. Skeletons dropping bones, I would say, is a solid addition, and I'll put this here with the skeleton, with the bone, just because now you have a reason to attack and hunt them for the bone meal, so great addition. Smeltable cactus as well, solid addition. It's great to have a use for cactus that isn't home defense, so great to have that. Oh, and we just have spruce and the spawner, so we'll do the mob spawner first. So the mob spawner, I would say that this is it's actually a bug fix, but I'll just say okay, I guess, because it's good to know what mob's coming out of the mob spawner, so it's good to have that there. And finally, we'll do the spruce. Spruce is actually, I think, still. It's a tough argument, but spruce versus birch, I would say spruce maybe just ekes it out a little bit. I just like spruce a little bit more. And I'm just going to put these here. Don't worry, these orders don't mean anything. I think spruce was a solid addition to the game. A darker oak is great. And also the taiga biome having spruce trees definitely makes it feel like a different biome. Same thing with the spruce leaves that look a lot denser, kind of look like those pine needles and stuff like that. Definitely a solid addition. I'm almost close to calling it game-changing, but I think I won't, just because like while these things were very good for aesthetic reasons, they sort of just enhance the existing wood building experience. Now, finally, the last part of this is the Coca-Cola Zero award. Coca-Cola Zero is because I love Coca-Cola Zero. I'm going to choose one of these things in this game-changing bracket and see if it deserves the Coca-Cola Zero award. Now, I can see that I've really limited my options here to aesthetic things and small things. I think if I had to choose something, though, it's not definitely. But, oh, hang on, I think I'm actually missing something. So I'm just going to quickly get that. Yeah, so sorry about that. I completely forgot. There was one more critical addition to the game, which was squids. So I'm going to add squids to solid addition, just because, I guess, great to have more mobs in the game. Also, I guess, nice to have an aquatic mob. Solid addition, I would say it's actually missed opportunity, just because in this version, and also subsequent versions, squids have really only served one purpose, which is making ink sacs. I really think squids could be better. They could be neutral mobs, possibly, that if you attack them, they jump onto you and attack you with their teeth or something like that. They could be faster and stuff. Instead, they just kind of goof around on the ground. Yeah, I would say missed opportunity. There's definitely more that could have been done with the squids. But knowing the history with Minecraft, I know that all they did was made some of them bioluminescent, and that's pretty much it. So a bit of a shame there, but that's okay. Now, in terms of the Coca-Cola Zero award, I have thought this through, and I think I'm going to give it to charcoal. You get charcoal for Christmas, but charcoal I think really makes the early game of Minecraft a lot more straightforward, because you can just smelt wood. You don't have to go into a dark hole for 10 minutes of the day or something to get coal before you run out. You can basically set up anywhere you want and smelt some charcoal, and you'll be safe for the night because you'll be able to build a small little dirt hut with torches and stuff, and you can goof around, and that just makes the game a lot more fun, and you can focus more on building rather than, okay, I have to mine before I craft and stuff like that. Oh, there's the name of the game again. But yeah, I think I'm going to give charcoal the Coca-Cola Zero award, and I'm really glad that they added that to that feature. I think I've definitely used it several times. I've definitely used these two as well, but these are, I guess, while they're game-changing, they do have, I guess, limits in that you can only get them once you're able to get all the dyes necessary. So yeah, Coca-Cola Zero, charcoal. This is Kyceti. I hope you enjoyed my tier list, and once I finish beta 1.3, which I think is very soon, I'll also do a tier list for that. So please let me know what you think about this this tier list, whether you agree or disagree with some of the changes, and I hope to see you again. Thanks very much. Bye.